With Ninjago ended, a lot of fans are in tears. I know how you feel, guys. When my favorite LEGO theme, Adventurers, was cancelled, I felt the same way. But Johnny Thunder still lives because of the people who write about him. And trust me, I do not think the ninja are in any danger of losing fans who write stories about them. The trick to writing good fan fiction? Being able to back up what you're writing using things from the series, real-life information, and your own experiences. So here's me, Scarheart, divided into LEGO knowledge, creative side, and researcher, here to show you what I've applied in my own fanfictions, and to give you Ninjago fans out there some ideas on where you can start writing. Note, this episode contains spoilers for Ninjago episodes 7 and 23. Okay, anyone who knows me knew this was coming. My theory about Zane, and to be fair, I'm not the only one who came up with this, turns out. So brace yourself, guys. This is going to be a long one. But before we begin, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Arcosman F, who has a cyborg character of his own and helped me through a few of the things, including how to say cyborganic. If you don't know me, let me give you some background. Since he was first introduced in episode 2 of Ninjago, Zane has been my favorite character. He and I actually have a lot in common. So when buzz started going around the Ninjago and LEGO community that Zane's memories were about to be revealed, I was stoked. And then it happened. Zane was revealed to be a robot, and I burst into tears. You see, Zane was like me in that he was the odd one out. But unlike me, he didn't need a label to explain it, and that meant a lot to me, having the label of autism myself. So now that there was an explanation, I felt really bad to let that go. I finished the episode and later that day had a bath in order to soak and to think. In my head, I went over previous Zane scenes. Then it hit me. The very first time we're introduced to Zane, we're shown that he has sixth sense. How can a robot have sixth sense? I ran back to my laptop and started browsing through previous episodes looking for other plot holes concerning this. And boy, there were a lot of them, and there continued to be some throughout the series. Unsure how to feel about this, I decided to just go back to my YouTube homepage. One of my recommended videos had this handsome fellow on the thumbnail, and that's when it clicked. Zane wasn't an android, he was a cyborg. Future episodes have made a few futile attempts to fill these plot holes, but oftentimes they're just contradictions, and sometimes they create more plot holes. By filling in Zane's more human-like traits by saying he's a cyborg, LEGO would have saved a ton of trouble of explaining things. But enough of me ranting. You all want to know how this relates to fanfiction writing, right? Well, there are two major ways. First, it opens up huge possibilities for stories. And second, if you're going to use this theory in your fanfictions, you need to know what parts of Zane are proven robotic and what parts are proven organic. So let me dive into my trusty medical book and see what we can find. Before anyone asks, this episode is rated PG, so no, I will not go over anything that isn't appropriate for children. First of all, there's his brain. A majority of Zane's brain seems to be in the control panel in his chest, as it contains his sense of humor, his memories, his speech abilities, and his abilities to see. There's also a power switch, which I suspect if turned off would leave Zane in a coma rather than kill him. I would give you the names of the brain parts that are missing, but I'll just give you a visual. Here's what's left of Zane's brain. That could be organic. Now what about dreams, sixth sense, and personality? The ability to learn is everywhere from what I understand. Personality here. Also, these parts are the parts that you actually need to be alive, so all of these are proven organic. As for sixth sense, I have two theories, and I'll let you choose between them. The first is, plain and simple, his sixth sense is connected to his dreams. The second, which was also provided by Arcosman F, is that his sixth sense was how he interpreted his robotic side, computing most of likely possibility combined with his human mind processing emotional reaction to them. Yeah, there's no way to simplify that, I'm sorry. Everything else on Zane's brain is up to grabs. You can make them robotic or organic, the show will not contradict you. Next we have Zane's skin. At first, I thought for certain this was organic. The ninjas touched him a few times, and I would have thought that they would have realized if he was made out of metal. However, Arcosman F did inform me that it is in fact to make synthesized skin feel real. This would explain why his skin stiffens when Zane is opened up. I can also explain that this is how his face is fixed in one of the episodes. Jay was able to repair the synthesized skin after this happened. By the way, I'm still trying to figure out how Ninjago got away with this when they had to get rid of the scars on Kai's face. Seriously, this made me jump, and I study anatomy in my spare time. However, there's also a method of skin replacement that for us people too. It's called skin grafting. Maybe the ninjas took Zane to a doctor. As for opening himself up, maybe the skin just covers metal and is still organic skin. So, in other words, either skin would work. You can have it robotic or you can have it organic. It's completely up to you. The show will not contradict you. Next we have his muscular and skeletal system, which Ninjago shows us is in fact robotic. Yeah, no real debate. I apologize for writing the fanfiction where Zane sprains his elbow. My mistake. It was a good story though. A lot of people like the concept of Zane having to rely on his brain rather than his brawn. Next we have his heart and lungs. Blood is never shown in Ninjago, but I have some evidence of my own. Zane coughs. Okay, some people have argued with me saying that this is just something that's programmed into Zane to hide what he really is. And I suppose that can be true, but think about this. Why does he cover his mouth in episode 9? He knew he was robotic by then, and he couldn't spread germs. And I doubt robots have force of habit, so I believe that at least Zane's lungs are organic. And the only reason Zane's lungs would be organic is if his blood was also organic. The heart itself can go either way. In fact, there are machines that can act as a heart during surgery. But Zane actually needs blood to get oxygen from his lungs to the organic parts that are left in his body. So his blood is also organic. On this note, this does mean that Zane has an immune system, and any organic parts can get sick. Whether robotic parts can get sick because of a virus, you're asking the wrong girl. Lastly, we have Zane's digestive system. A quote from episode 2 proves that Zane does eat, as he tells Kai that he ate the last of the sandwich meat. We also know that Zane is the best cook on the bounty, which wouldn't be possible if he couldn't taste. But can a robotic digestive system break down nutrients and send them to where it's needed? The answer is yes, however, there's really no proof one way or the other, so again, this is completely up to you. Okay, enough of the science lesson. How do we apply this into fanfiction writing? There's actually a few ways. Having Zane half organic opens up a story possibility that wasn't there before. Maybe Jay notices things that aren't robotic about Zane. And yes, it would probably be Jay because he is an inventor and he would know what to look for. Curious, Jay looks through Zane's blueprints and finds that there are hollow places for Zane's organs. He puts 2 and 2 together and tells Zane what's really going on. Zane gets upset. Or maybe Zane wakes up from an odd dream that tells him to go to a certain place and talk to a certain person. Zane does so without the ninjas and learns the truth, again upsetting him. Or maybe Zane wakes up one morning with signs of an illness. The ninjas think it's a computer virus and ask Dr. Julian what to do. Dr. Julian is technically Zane's father's name, by the way. You can see it in credits even if it's never actually said in the show. Dr. Julian looks over at Zane and realizes it's not a computer virus, but an actual illness, which proves that he's part organic and again upsets Zane. Why am I saying this is going to upset Zane? Because think about it. He now knows that after finally thinking he had his past figured out and his family figured out, he only knows half the story, if that. Zane is a really emotional character at some points, especially when it comes to this sort of thing. Just think of how he's reacting at the beginning of episode 2. So the thought of him having to go through another span of God knows how many years with only half the answers is gonna send him spiraling and wanting to go on his own quest to find the truth. Let's face it, if he's gonna follow that falcon on his own, chances are he's willing to do other things on his own if he feels he has to. All of these are great ideas for a Zane fanfiction, but I'm not gonna write it. I know, my theory, I should write it, but I really don't want to think about what left Zane so mutilated. I mean, we're talking about a guy who has part of his brains, his muscle, his bones, and possibly other parts of his body damaged beyond repair. I mean, what the heck happened to this guy? However, I do encourage writers, if they have an idea on what happened and who Zane's real parents are, to please write it down and send me a link. Zane deserves to know the truth. So happy writing and happy tearing Zane to shreds. Next time, I'll talk a little bit more about the cultural aspect of Ninjago. You're sure Gaijin Goomba won't get mad at us for this? Well, I kind of gave away what the next episode was going to be about when I emailed him asking him to fact check for me. I think if he felt I was copying him, he would have said something. Okay guys, here's what we'll do. We'll send him this segment so that he has the opportunity to tell us if he wants us to avoid talking about adding culture to Ninjago and fanfictions.